Yeah, so we're gonna try to stay consistent. We're gonna try to keep on bringing y'all some content with unique, uncommon information. I'm gonna try to make 2 or 3 videos a day. One of them is just gonna be about life, philosophy. The other one is gonna probably be centered around weight training. The weight training video where I just reflect my thoughts on weight training and how that affects my philosophy of life and how my philosophy of life affects weight training. The importance of it, I think it's very important. I think it's paramount and it's incumbent upon any man to develop his body, to develop strength, to develop physical beauty in a masculine sense. It's an investment that you'll make in yourself. Weight training, fact versus fiction, reality versus BS, perception versus reality. Everybody, when they start lifting weights, they ask the same question. They say the same thing. They express the same fear. They say, I don't want to get too bulky. Don't worry about it. Only 1 in every million people have to worry about getting too bulky from lifting weights. The reality is, the perception that most of us have of what's possible, what's attainable, what's likely, what's probable from working out is based on lies, like most realities that people have. You look at somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's famous. Arnold Schwarzenegger has gotten famous for perpetuating lies about the fitness industry. If you look at steroid culture, PED culture, Arnold Schwarzenegger is probably the flagship individual, the lightning rod for the prevalence of not only gym culture but steroid culture. The reality is, if you want to see what's truly attainable naturally, and this isn't to say that these individuals are natural, look at athletes. Look at combat sport athletes primarily because they have weight classes, and generally those weight classes are associated with different heights. Most welterweights are between 5'6" and 5'10", for example. Most lightweights are under 5'8". As they get older, most lightweights move up to welterweight and sometimes to middleweight. Most welterweights move up to middleweight. The welterweight limit for boxing is 147. I think the super lightweight is 140. Super welter is 154. Middleweight is 160. So when you look at athletes like Floyd Mayweather, Errol Spence, Caleb Plant, if you're familiar with any of these athletes, and most of these athletes are probably not 100% natural, but when you look at the level of development they attain and how they attain the development they attain, it follows a natural path. And that path is most exemplified by the fact that they have to cut weight for their muscles to be visible. When they cut weight, they have nice abs. 90% of the time, they don't have nice abs when they're not cutting weight. The reality of working out, and I've done it for 8 years, seriously. You can get leaner and stronger than you probably think you can naturally, but you won't be that big. That's just the reality. You can get leaner and stronger, but you're not going to be, chances are you're not going to possess a large amount of super physiological muscle, meaning essentially unnecessary muscle that's not necessary for your life function. So the reality is, you can gain some muscle, you can get very lean, you can be aesthetic, you can look very athletic, you can be stronger than you probably think you can be, but you won't be bigger. You can be stronger and you can be leaner. You can look better. You can look more like an athlete. You can look more athletic than the average wide receiver or defensive back in the NFL. You can be leaner than the average wide receiver or defensive back in the NFL and have about as much muscle. Some people, you will know by how they're naturally built, can be built a little bit more like a linebacker or a tight end. But usually when you look at football players, they have a little bit of a stomach. They might have big arms. Some of them have very impressive physiques. Some of them have visible abs. Some of them have slightly visible abs. But they'll usually have a little bit of a stomach. So generally, you're not going to look like a bodybuilder if you work out. You're going to look like an athlete. You're going to look like a football player, possibly, if you have more that thick build. You're probably going to look like a boxer or a combat sport athlete, though. It's just the reality. People do not have to worry about getting too bulky. Most perceptions on what you will look like from fully developing your physique are based on lies. They're based on misconceptions. And the point of those lies and those misconceptions is to sell you supplements. It's to sell you creatine. It's to sell you protein. Even more than creatine and protein, which are proven to work. It's to sell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need. Test boosters. BCAAs can work, but they're not going to make you look like jacked. They're not going to make you look brolic. So this is just a short video on the expectations versus reality of working out. Personally, I've attained a respectable level of strength. I have about a 515 pound deadlift, raw, no belt, no straps, at 170 pounds. I don't squat heavy. I usually do 315 for sets of 10. Sometimes I'll do 1 set of 10. Sometimes I'll do 3 sets of 10. I don't go above 315 pounds. I do incline press. I've done 185 pounds for 4 reps on the incline press. I'm actually better with dumbbells. I do 90-pound dumbbells for 6 to 8 reps on the incline press as my working sets. I'm not somebody who's necessarily built for strength. I have more of a athletic basketball player model type, slim physique, small joints, etc., etc. But I excel at the deadlift. Like I said, at 170 pounds, I deadlift 515 pounds. I can deadlift about 405 pounds for 10 reps. I squat about 315 pounds for 10 reps easily, no belt, raw. And I managed to maintain around 10% body fat a year, sometimes 10% body fat throughout the year. Sometimes it'll fluctuate between about 8 and 10%, depending on how I'm eating and my training and my sleep. So you can get leaner and stronger and even more aesthetic, but you won't be big, you won't be bulky. You can get leaner and stronger because it's relatively easy to be lean, or to lose fat is relatively easy. You can get stronger because you have to be strong. Working out, for being a natural muscle gainer, you have to be strong. Your main mechanism for growth is progressive overload, so it's lifting more. So you'll be stronger and even leaner than you imagine. Like, you will be squatting twice your body weight for reps. You will be deadlifting 2-3 times your body weight 2 times for reps. You'll be bench pressing 1.5 times your body weight, but you won't be super big. That performance will result in putting on lean muscle. And I'll leave it at this. The best thing that one can do when training is focus on not gaining unnecessary weight, specifically body fat. You don't want to gain unnecessary weight because the key to being aesthetic is being able to lift multiples of your body weight, and it's being able to do high rep calisthenics. It's being able to perform at a rate compared to your actual body weight, which is exemplary. So if you can squat twice your body weight for reps, if you can deadlift 2-3 times your body weight, if you can bench press 1.5 times or twice your body weight, if you can do 20 pull-ups, you will look great. So in summation, can't get big as a natural, but can be lean, can perform at a high rate, can be more aesthetic than you ever imagined. You can be lean and extremely strong, and being lean and extremely strong, aesthetics will follow. As a natural lifter, form will follow function. So it's just a short video. Just left the gym, drinking my protein shake. Figured I'd share some thoughts on dreaming.